Hey, what's up, guys? What the hell is this? Okay, I got this for 50 cents at the comic store. Actually, no, I got this for free. No, the ripped off cover, 1966 Star Spangled War Stories. DC. I think this is the beginning of the weird war tales, the War That Time Forgot sort of series, where basically the Pacific War mixed with dinosaurs. Um, Now, the story, obviously, Russ Heath. The ones just focus on the art here. Okay, Russ Heath. I don't know who wrote this, but um, this dude, like literally, this guy is was one of the best artists, American comic book artists ever. Like straight up, I told you, Sam Gransman, John Severin, are the other, are two of the other ones. Without a doubt, the detail this guy had. Uh, he could draw anything, tech, creatures. The way he drew, just everything. Just, I mean, these guys really knew their craft. Right? And I'm just gonna, but the story in terms of I don't know who wrote it, but the craziness of it. Now I keep saying, when you think of Japanese comics, right? You think of the craziness factor. Of course, I argue that the American Golden Age comics, and you're gonna see, yeah, were just as crazy and bizarre. Okay, but you had this stuff going on into the '60s. Okay, the Silver Age. They always make fun of the Silver Age superhero stories, but the bizarreness of the other genres, the westerns, the horror, or for DC they called mystery comics because you couldn't use the word horror with the comics code. Um, you still had this craziness. Okay, this is as crazy as any Japanese manga you would ever see. Right? And in terms of the art, man, well, the focus on art. What is this story? Okay, brothers with wings. Okay, it's basically they're fighting in the Pacific against the Japanese, and this guy here, who is this guy? Well, this dude apparently, as a baby, the mother was flying, and the plane was attacked by giant pterodactyls. This is that weird island, the War That Time Forgot that you see. You actually saw it, I think, in um, Crisis and Infinite Earth. So there was some DC cartoon animated film where they featured this. And the mother, her last act showed the infant and put him in the chute. So this baby lands, and instead of being eaten, he's raised by the pterodon. So he grows up kind of like a Tarzan type character. So, and of course he's brother to the what he calls it, the brother with, he's the brother with no wings. So yeah, this is like a takeoff on Tarzan. But you see, he's also helping them. He's throwing rocks as weapons against the enemies. So at some point he gets rescued, right? And they bring him to America, and luckily he's not locked for the rest of his life in an asylum. But he's sort of like, he's a kid, but he sort of feels like an outsider. Right? Wow. The war, he becomes a pilot in the war. He fighting a corsair, so he's a marine aviator. Right? And it's funny too, there's a letter here. I read a lot of war stories. I think you have a great lineup from Sergeant Rock to the Hornet Tank. But I can't see the combination of dinosaurs and modern war. It's a sensational contrast, but I don't like to see pterodactyls mixing it up with bombers or Tyrannosaurus Rex is nibbling on cannon. That's cornball, like King Kong. Now, I don't know if this guy's still alive, but man, shut up. What you talking about, Merc? You making fun of the idea. This is awesome. Dinosaurs, monsters, mixed with war. This is the craziest shit. You'll never see nothing like this again. Yeah. So like I said, he's a Marine aviator, but yeah, boom, yeah, take the Merc and take that. He lost the carrier, he ends up on the island. My island. Remember, I'm home, right? So he comes back and I keep interrupting because look at this art, man. I think and this is him inking himself, dude. So, but he remembers, like, they remember him as a brother. And this is great. Look at this, dude. Look at this, man. This is awesome. He uses the pterodons to attack the Japanese. Now, it would have been cooler. You know what would have been cooler? But instead of taking him to America, they had taken him to Japan. And he was fighting for imagine a gaijin, who can talk to dinosaurs, fighting for the emperor. Yeah, that would have made this like a 10, but and of course the ubiquitous DC using a Tommy gun to shoot down an enemy plane. And real quick, man, this is 1966, so look at the new superheroes. Hanna-Barbera, Space Ghost. Frankenstein Jr. I love this. This was the closest thing you got to an American kind of version of like, Gigantor or like Astro Boy. This was like the American, anime. I don't know what to say. And the Hanna-Barbera stuff really was. The Impossibles. Remember them? They were like supposed to be like the Beatles, and then their alter ego was, they were like, in the public life, they were like a band, like the Beatles, and then in their, they were also superheroes. Which is funny because all their powers later on in the late 70s, when I was a little kid during the disco era, they had the Super Globetrotters, or the Harlem Globetrotters were now superheroes, but they had like 3 of them had the same powers as these guys. I thought that was interesting. And Dino Boy, right? Yeah, remember this Dino Boy, a kid with the thing. So I gotta give a shout out to the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. They were the closest thing to the Japanese wacky, crazy stories that you had were these. So yeah. Anyway, and the story ends where he has to leave his brothers and he gets picked up, and he can't tell them, who stopped the Japanese. Well, yeah, me and my brother, my winged brothers, my brothers with wings, then died. So I just thought that was kind of cool. I thought this was really cool. So just crazy. The art was great. It was just, you could see as a kid that this would catch your imagination. I definitely need to draw more like this guy. Anyway, and rounding out the usual, like the crazy Silver Age Batman stories. And then some other story here, the Marine, the criminal in his civilian life. Interesting though, this is a Vietnam story. So you had not just the Charlton comics, you had contemporary Vietnam stories going on, but they're always like kind of whack, They're trying to be like the Pacific War when we know that the Pacific War wasn't even the Pacific War, right? So, but I didn't care too much about that one, but who cares? The original story was just amazing. And you get the other war comics, Sergeant Rock, right? And Captain Storm, right? The guy with the PT boat. And of course the usual, prizes. Go sell stuff and earn the prizes. You good capitalist slave. Anyway, dude, this was great, man. Russ Heath, man, dude. All respect. They like I said, they can't make anything like this anymore for a bunch of reasons. All right, later.